Hello everyone and welcome back to a new PHP programming tutorial. In the previous video we talked about array of objects and copying objects. In this video we're going to talk about something called inheritance. Now let's assume you want to create something that represents an employee. If you think about it, an employee is actually a person. He has first name, he has last name, and a job title and a company, let's say. Right? So I want to keep track of the person and identify which company he's working on. Not every person is an employee, but the basic idea. So now you could create a class, right, to store the first name, last name, and the job title and the company name, right? That's possible, which means that you are gonna repeat all this. However, there is another thing that you could do is to use the existing code here and add to it. To do this, we are going to do the following. We are going to create a new class and I'm going to say employee, and I will say it extends person and semicolon. Now as soon as I write this, now I have a new class called employee, and it already has the first name, already has the last name, and has these methods: print, set name, etc, etc. Now to demonstrate this, let's say we have X. This is X and we are printing John Smith, and now I'm going to say Y equal new employee Linda Smith, his sister. Okay, so he is just a person, she's an employee, she's also a person but also an employee. So now we are going to say print, right? So now I'm going to refresh. You can see John Smith and Linda Smith both working perfectly fine. So here I'm going to put a breakpoint at the echo statement and see what's going to happen when I refresh. And now I already have these in watch. So X is of type person, he has and first name, last name, and Linda of type employee, she has a first name and last name. Now what's the difference? I didn't do anything. Well, now we are going to do something important. Let's go here and I'm going to say public job title. This is the job title, and we have public company, and that's it. So I have job title and company, very straightforward. Now let us go, let me save this, and now let us go and refresh the code again. So now the code got executed, but you can see here, okay, so you can see a person has a first name and last name, but the employee has a first name, last name, in addition to job title and company. You see here, this is I only defined these two properties, but the rest of the properties it got from the parent class in this case, which is person. So far so good. So now we have these values, right? But what about the job title and company? Should I fill them manually, or could I create a constructor for them? Well, things are very straightforward. I could create a constructor for them. So let's go and do this. So I'll do the following. I will say function underscore construct, and I will use first and last, and then I have job, and comp for company. Okay, so now I could fill them one by one, or I could do the following trick. I could call the original constructor in the parent. So in this case, if I'm not mistaken, I could say parent construct, and I pass first and last. So what happens is this: when this constructor get called, I am calling the original constructor, which will fill the first name and last name for me. And now I'm gonna fill the rest of the field manually. So here, all I have to do, say job title equals job, and company equals comp. Very straightforward. Now here, let's say Linda Smith is what? She's programmer, and let's assume she works at Microsoft. Okay, so let us put a breakpoint here and debug. And oops, let's refresh. So yeah, for some reason this one, yeah, okay. So I reached this one. Now we are creating a new employee. So I press F11. You see now this is the first name, Linda. This is the last name, Smith, and job and company. Now we are gonna call the parent class with the constructor. So, and obviously I did something wrong, right? Is it? Give me a second. Is it like this? Maybe I did something wrong, because haven't done this for a very long time. So yeah, maybe I should do it like this. I think it should be done like this. Yeah, because I haven't done this for a very long time. This is why I forget things. And now let's go refresh and F11 and F11. Okay, now it's working. So let's finish this one and repeat the code to explain what's happening. So let's refresh again. Okay, so now we are gonna call the constructor of employee, passing to it the first name, the last name, the job title, and the company. So what happens next, instead of filling all the fields manually, I'm calling the original constructor of person in order to fill two fields. This is a trivial example, but in real life example, when you are working with complex classes, maybe you have 100 fields, 200 fields, and you need to do lots of the complex work to initialize things, it will be more practical to call the original or the parent class function to do most of the work, and then you add the small things that you need to add. Okay, so in this case we are gonna call the basic class passing the first and last name only. So go F11. So we have these two, right? So this is in person, as you can see. So we are passing the values, and then we will manually fill job and job title and the company. Okay, that's totally fine. And let's continue. Let me move this. Let's continue, and what do we get? Everything looks the same, but the values got filled, right? So the problem now is that the print method, which is inherited, is only designed to print the first name and last name. we need, for employees, we need to replace this function with something that will display uh, the job title and company as well. So very straightforward, we are gonna do the same thing. So I will say function print, and I will use the parent print. There you go. This is the print method of the parent class, and then I will just say echo job title, this arrow job title, right, and dot and I'll make it like this, and this is gonna be working at dot this arrow company, and very straightforward. So now the basic class, we already know they display the print function. The basic class already we know it displays what? It displays the first name, right, and last name. We are adding to it, so we are displaying these, and then we are adding to it the job title and the company. Very straightforward. So now if we go and refresh, and oops, let's remove this one. Okay, go. So we have Linda Smith, job title, nothing, working at nothing. Obviously, I am doing something wrong, right? So I am doing something wrong. Okay, so job title, this job title, it's here, and then the company is here. Okay, so let us debug the code and see what is happening. So I'll put a breakpoint here, and now I will refresh. Okay, so F11, we are going to do this, right? And then, oh, this is the problem. I should write it like this arrow job title and this arrow. And the reason for it is the following. If you write job title alone, it will create a local variable, not the same property here in the class, and this is why I'm getting this error. So let me stop this code now, and now let us refresh and see. Okay, Linda Smith, job title programmer working at Microsoft, as you can see now. So now what do we end up with? We end up with the same print method for both types of object, but one is used to display information of a person. This one displays information of a person and job title and which company he's working on. And so very straightforward, right? So we have seen now how we can inherit from an existing class, how we could add properties, and how we could create, recreate the same method. This is called overriding. So basically we overridden the original print method with a new one, if that makes sense. Now, one important thing to notice that get copy won't work because this one's returning object of type person. So I shouldn't use get copy with employee class. In fact, I should create a new method, get copy, and I shouldn't call the parent at all, because this one's returning a person. An employee class should always return, when you call get copy, should return an employee object. So there are a few tricks, few things that you should pay attention to. Now, given this very simple example, we could actually extend employee further and create another class from it, and so on and so forth. Right? Now, the question is, why do we have to do it like this? And the answer is to make it easier to use other people's code. To explain this, well, imagine you want to build a very complex and big website. Building a website requires lots of work, like understanding sessions, parsing things, uh, right, rendering pages, menus, and connecting to the database, doing lots of work. And if you want to do all this yourself, you might need, this will take years from you to write everything from scratch, right? It is not practical. You cannot do that. So one way to solve this issue is that usually you have what is called a library, and also what is called a framework. So a framework is like, let's say, semi-complete project or semi-complete solution. Someone else or a group of people create an application that almost work. So all you have to do is to inherit from their work, like this example. Let's assume person is a website. So all you have to do is to inherit from their code like this, and then you add maybe few properties, you override a number of functions, and that's it. You don't have to worry about coding stuff, because this will save you a ton of time. Uh, Usually because the team who made this website, let's say, or this framework, have spent maybe years perfecting it and making it robust, right? So this helps you, you know, build applications quickly. In addition to that, inheritance, uh, you don't have to always know what the code is in great details. Let's say if you want to use an existing library, usually you won't go and view the class, let's say person in this example. You already know there is a class called person and it has these two. You don't know how it prints things or or how it does some special processing. All you have to do is just extend it, add a few extra properties you want, update a few functions, and maybe um, add extra functions here and there, and that's it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. Okay? Yeah, so I think this example is enough. I don't want to give you too much things here, today. I hope you find this useful and have a nice day. Bye bye.